Have you ever really thought about what happens in that split second after you tap your card or you pull up your banking app? It honestly feels like magic, right? But behind that screen is one of the most important blueprints in the modern world. So today, we're going to peel back that curtain and take a look at the digital architecture that makes it all work. Let's get into it.
Okay, so it all kicks off with a really simple question. You log in and boom, there's your exact balance. How in the world does your bank know with 100% certainty that that specific number belongs to you and not, the person sitting next to you? Well, the answer isn't magic. It's an incredibly well-designed digital system, and we're about to map it all out. All right, so right at the very heart of every single bank is its database. Now, this is not just some big spreadsheet. You got to think of it as the bank's master blueprint, its digital vault. It is the one single, undisputed source of truth for every last dollar and every single transaction. The best way to wrap your head around this is to picture an architectural plan for a massive skyscraper, right? Every single beam, every wire, every window is meticulously mapped out. It's exactly the same in the bank's database. Every piece of information about you, your name, your account number, even that coffee you bought this morning, it all has a precise location and a very specific purpose. In a system like this, absolutely nothing can be left to chance.
So, how do you even begin to build a blueprint this complex? Well, you start with simple, essential building blocks, kind of like the Lego bricks of the banking world. In database lingo, these are called entities, and you can just think of them as the core nouns of the whole system.
The first and honestly the most important building block is you, the customer. This little block represents every single individual or business the bank serves. It is the anchor point. Pretty much everything else in the bank's digital universe connects right back to you. Next up, we've got the account. Now, this isn't the money itself, but it's the digital container. Your checking account, your savings account, where your balance actually lives. It's the where of your finances. And finally, we have the transaction. This is the good stuff. Think of this as the story of your money in motion. Every card tap, every deposit, every bill you pay, each one is a transaction, a permanent, unchangeable record of a financial move. Okay, having all these blocks is great, but on their own, they're kind of useless. Just like with Legos, they have to be connected, and they have to follow a really strict set of rules. These rules are what give the whole blueprint its strength and its logic. So let's see how they actually work. This right here shows us the simple but super powerful rules of construction. The most important one is called a one-to-many relationship. Let's break that down. Look at that first row. One customer can have many accounts. That makes sense, right? That's you with your checking and savings accounts. And then the second row. One of those accounts can have many transactions. That's your entire statement history. This simple logic, this one-to-many idea, is basically the glue that holds the entire system together and stops it from becoming total chaos. So, now that we have our building blocks and the rules that connect them, we can zoom out and see the full master plan, the complete information hierarchy of the bank. And here's that flow in action. See how it all starts at the top with a branch? Then, inside that branch, we find the accounts. Each of those accounts is then perfectly linked to a specific customer. And finally, every single account has its own detailed history of transactions. It's this perfect logical cascade, all the way from the big building down to the very last dollar. But what happens if one of these critical links just breaks? This is the kind of thing that literally keeps database architects up at night. They have to constantly stress test this blueprint to make absolutely sure not a single connection can ever be lost. This nightmare scenario actually has a name. It's called the orphaned record. It's a piece of information that has lost its connection, and now it's just floating aimlessly in the database. It's like a digital ghost in the machine. So this is the crucial part. On the left, you see a healthy account, right? It's clearly linked to a customer. Perfect. But on the right, that's an orphan. An account exists, it has money in it, but the link to its owner is just gone. For a bank, this is the ultimate data catastrophe. The money is real, but it belongs to no one. So how on earth do they find these invisible cracks? Well, they use these really powerful diagnostic tools. Now, you do not need to understand this code at all. Seriously. Just think of it as a special X-ray machine that the architect uses to scan the entire blueprint. Its only job is to find any account that is not connected to a customer. So, in a perfectly designed, completely trustworthy banking database, how many of these digital ghosts should that X-ray find? The answer has to be 0.
always. That one single number is the ultimate proof that the entire blueprint is sound. Okay, so we've looked at the blocks, the rules, even the nightmare scenarios. But why does any of this invisible structure actually matter to us? Well, because it is, quite literally, the bedrock of our financial trust.
Because of this blueprint, you get integrity, the guarantee that your money can never be linked to someone else. You get accuracy, making sure your balance is always the perfect sum of your history. You get reliability, so that every single time you tap your card, it just works. And all of these things together build the most important thing of all, trust.
So the next time you check your balance, just for a second, remember that elegant, invisible blueprint working behind the scenes. This logical design is what turns a bunch of digital bits into solid financial trust. And it kind of makes you wonder, what other invisible blueprints are out there, quietly and perfectly powering the rest of your world?